Hey bros, how's it going? Welcome to the new patch breakdown video where I will be breaking down all the patch notes in a better format than before. So hopefully just watching this video should be enough for you to know what's new in the patch and what to expect from the game from now on. So I'll be explaining all the changes and going over the changelog just like before. So first of all, I'd like to say a few words about the new avatars. Two new avatars, one for Ravenor, Storm Demon Ravenor, which looks absolutely freaking badass. Look at that. I am actually inclined to buy this, except it's not available yet. It will be available later, and the one that's available now is the Master Assassin silhouette. So you can buy them both in a pack, of course, which is already available for a bit less gold. I have a lot of gold, but
masked by shadows.
I just spent on early access.
Your last moments.
Well, I don't play silhouette that much, but Ravenor, man.
Nothing is more invigorating than the screams of a meek. Sweet.
Pretty cool. So let's go over the changelog now. So these are the avatars I was talking about. General trees now sway with the wind. I have actually turned up all my graphics to high, and yes, my laptop can handle it, but I prefer to keep my settings on low simply because I value FPS so much, and in team fights FPS can drop and that can be really annoying, so I just turn the graphics low. But here you can see it swaying. So yeah, nice effect, I guess. I'm not really into graphics, but it looks so cool, I guess. So Zephyr tested and approved. Good job, Zephyr. Next we have regional breakdown removed, and please join us welcoming South Korea, blah blah blah. Does this mean we have South Korea and matchmaking now? No. Simply when you hover over the player numbers, there will be no pop-up. So now we won't know if it's South Korea, which most of the players are probably from there, or Europe, USA, or the CIS region, Russia. So now basically we're all as one, which is pretty cool. I don't really care. I mean, they play HoN. It doesn't really matter for us because, well, they wouldn't be queuing in our servers anyway. One downside is that they cannot join my clan, or not that my clan is so amazing, but downside nonetheless. But yeah, we're all one happy family, blah. I'm bad at this sentimental stuff. Next, have Skybox now clearly reflects off of the water, which looks like this. This is very high settings and stuff. So yeah, that's how water looks now. Next we have Hero Decks improved. Actually haven't watched this change myself yet. The only change that oh wow, this is much easier. Oh cool. That's much better. Cool. But that's all I can say about the Hero Decks because, well, I don't really use it myself much. I just know everything. Remember it. So next we have balance changes, which I love, as you know. So live tube regeneration lowered from 5 to 4.5 seconds. Well, was live tube too strong? Well, yes, it was, but this is more about math. I have to do a lot with math. So if you look at the live tube, it costs 875, and mana tube also costs 875 and gives you 100% mana regen. So what about math? Well, if you look at the Scarab, which gives you 50% mana regen, how much would be 100% mana regen? If you do the math, it's 750 gold for 100% mana regen. No, wait, no. 650 gold. There we go. 650 gold. However, if you look at the mana tube, which gives 100% mana regen, it doesn't cost 650. It costs 175, and that's the drawback. You see, the less expensive items are supposed to be better, because the drawback to getting less expensive items is that they take up more inventory space. So they're supposed to be cheaper and better for the cost. So that works out, and mana tube is actually much more expensive than what it gives in terms of regeneration. So that works fine. However, if we look at the life regeneration on the Trinket of Restoration, it gives you 2 health regen for 350 gold. If you do the math, 5 health regen, 5, would be 875 gold. Exactly like the previous life tube. In other words, getting a life tube is just as good as getting 2 rings of, or trinkets of restoration. Basically, life tube was too good. It was basically the cheapness of a trinket of restoration in one slot. Simple as that. It was just way too good, so it had to be nerfed, and now it's actually more of a benefit to get 2 trinkets of restoration instead of 1 life tube. in terms of cost benefit. Yeah, so Life Tube was a bit too good. Mana Tube was fixed, so now they kind of fixed it and adjusted it so that it's more fair when you get a Life Tube. What the? I didn't know I had this song. I was like, this song sounds really familiar. Anyway, we move on to the next balance changes. Blitz. So first of all, quick and cast time reduced. So the third skill of Blitz, which it felt like a freaking horrible mistake to cast it. It was so slow. The hero really did not feel fast at all. Now it's actually pretty fast. Look. It's only 0.1 seconds reduction on the cast time, but it's huge. It's pretty huge because the average cast time, I think, for pretty much everything is 0.25 seconds or above. So now
Like a flash.
the cast time for Blitz's third skill is better than the average. It's really, really good now. So next we have more Blitz buffs, which as to finally listen to the community that Blitz is actually a trash hero. So second skill, the movement speed drain has been increased, which it slows really, really much now. It's only 5 per level, as you can see, but it stacks up in over 5 seconds. It makes a 25 movement speed difference if you hold it for the entire 5 seconds compared to before. Also, I'm sorry, my nose is kind of runny, so my voice might be weird.
With lightning speed.
And also, it has clear vision now, lingers for the entire duration of target being slowed. So what does this mean? Before, when you use your second skill on an enemy target, you would have clear vision of it, which means you would just see it pretty much, period, as long as the link remains. And as soon as the link broke, the clear vision would drop and vanish. Well, now the clear vision will stay until the buff stays on the target. So even when the link breaks, you will still have clear vision. Quickly to demonstrate, I will make Cursed go into the fog here, and I will be able to see him after the link breaks. So there we go, the link is on. I'm gonna move him. See, I see him with the clear vision. Link breaks. You can see the duration at the top, bottom left, but Cursed was still controllable and I could still see him. So it basically gives you more time of clear vision, which is awesome. And last but not least, we have the ultimate buff of 50 damage on lower levels, which is really, really good for early game. So nothing really against that. On level 3, his ultimate has a really low cooldown. You can use it a lot. So with these changes, Blitz is actually really, really good now. Well, not really good, but much, much better. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Blitz played more often. I myself will be playing Blitz more often. I'll be trying him out today, probably. Just gonna try play him and see how he works out. Should be cool. So next we have Dampier changes. His second skill, Vampiric Flight, which is, by the way, let's get a Cursed back here. Cursed, get back here. Jerk. So the second skill, the cooldown is basically lower on lower levels, period. So perhaps there's more point in leveling and maxing your second skill first before the first one. If you compare it to the first one, the cooldown is still less than the first one, so I'm not sure about that. Also, the cast time on your first skill has been lowered. That is also pretty big, especially for the WQ combo where you press W, use it on the target, then Shift Q, so that he uses Terrorize as soon as he flies over, like that. So now he does this Terrorize 0.05 seconds faster, which will give the target less of a chance to get away and makes the shift combo much more reliable. And just an overall buff, because, well, this skill disables, so you can disable 0.05 seconds faster, which means that you can potentially cancel more skills. Next we have Moon's Queen. Her stun on the first skill has been increased from 0.6 seconds, which is kind of a mini stun, to a whole second, which is huge. It's freaking huge, you have no idea. This skill has a 6-second cooldown. You can have a 1-second stun and 300 damage with 800 range every 6 seconds. So just to demonstrate, it's now actually more of a stun than a mini stun. That's how huge it is. Yeah, just pure straight up really, really good buff to Moon Queen. So you should check out this hero more now. She will be more dangerous. Next we have a Scout Disarm change. it's stronger on earlier levels, period. The critical hit is bigger and the disarm cooldown is lower, which actually 20 seconds of disarm cooldown and just a 1.25 critical hit chance was kind of weak. So this was a deserved buff, I think, but at the same time I'm kind of curious. This is the third skill, disarm, so on lower levels it's still gonna be pretty good. So why am I skeptical and not skeptical at the same time? Well, first of all, Scout with the guaranteed disarm is now actually a really strong hero, and he was picked competitively as well, and he carried against a Mage Bane. He out-carried a Mage Bane in the last game. So he turned it around. So Scout is actually now a really good hero. At the same time, I said that because, well, maybe Scout doesn't deserve the buff. At the same time, if you look at the level 4, it's still exactly the same as before, so this does not change his carry potential at all. It just gives him an easier time early game. So like, you can look at it from both sides. Like, from one side he's stronger now, he didn't need the buff perhaps. From the other side, well, he's not really buffed for late game at all, he's the same. Last but not least, we have a change for Dark Lady. So her Dark Blades are now more scalable. They don't give you 10% per level when you level it up and 50% level 1, but rather more distributed, like 35% and then plus 15% per level, so that's better. Your second skill mana cost increased by 5, and ultimate now doesn't have a global range but 2500 range. So just to show you how much range that is, it's until here. So it's not that huge, and you cannot cover of darkness over the entire map anymore to get the assist gold. But basically this is a nerf kind of to my build. What I would do is I would first max out my Q, so I'm just gonna reset this hero here, give him some levels. So my build was, first I grabbed 1 level of my E for the kind of blink, then I leveled up my W 2 times and I maxed out my W, then I grabbed 1 level of Q and then maxed out W. Maxed out W, then maxed out E, then grab 1 level of my ultimate, another level of my ultimate, and then I went for maxing Q. That was my build before. So what happens now? Basically the second skill is really good. It deals a lot of damage, has a decently low cooldown, can even be used for last hitting because of the low mana cost. The mana cost has been increased because the skill was pretty much too strong. So that's okay, that's a nerf to my build. Next we have the Dark Blades. Yes, there was not much point in leveling up the skill aside from level 1. On level 1 you get 50% bonus damage, the silence stays 2.5 seconds over the entire thing. It gives you more of a duration if you level it up, yes, but it also increases the mana cost, which is bad. And if you look at the second and third skill, if you level them up, the mana cost stays the same, it does not increase, so it's actually better to level up those. The cooldown, however, does decrease, but it doesn't matter for now. So I leveled up and maxed out my W because it's a really good skill, good for the slow, good for damage and last hitting. Then I maxed out E because if you level it up, it increases range, decreases cooldown, mana cost stays the same, and gives you more attack speed. Really good to level up. And leveling up Q, what will it do? Well, it will give me 10% bonus damage, will big whoop, and increase the mana cost, which is bad. So now all of that has been readjusted, and perhaps it's now a better idea to max out Q, because for the extra duration and because you don't get the full damage benefit from it unless you max it out. And your second skill now costs more mana, so perhaps it's a bad idea to max out that now. I'm not sure, but I think my build will stay the same for now. But I'm pretty sure there are people with other builds, and now other builds are more viable because of these changes. Overall though, this is a nerf on Dark Lady because, well, her first skill is now worse, her second skill is now worse, and her ultimate is now worse, pretty much. But I think everyone will agree that she needed this nerf, so let's go over the changes one more time. Blitz has been buffed, he's now faster, second skill is now better, and actually deals a lot of damage. I didn't really look at it before. Look, it deals 100 magic damage initially, like just boom, 100 damage right away when you use it. And then it deals 36 damage per second over 5 seconds, which is 180 more damage. So that's 280 damage total, which is pretty good. However, your third skill is pretty important, and first skill is really important, so still skeptical about maxing second skill. I might still go for stats over it. Dampier got a buff, his second skill now has a lower cooldown and his ultimate lower cast time. Moon Queen got a buff, her first skill now stuns for longer. Scout got a buff, his disarm is now better on lower levels, and Dark Lady got a nerf. Pretty much agreed with everything. Everything was a good change. Needed a buff, potentially needed a buff because he kind of sucks in early game and still not picked enough competitively. Really sucked, really needed a buff, and yes, the Dark Lady did really need a nerf. She's a really strong hero. So overall, I agree with all the changes. The life tube regeneration, also agree with that because it was too good. Yeah, the new graphics, you watched it, you know, the new avatars, so I approve of the Storm Demon Ravenor. He's freaking amazing. I might actually buy the pack just to get him earlier, but I don't play Silhouette much. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about that, but hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.